Do do do, theme song. Do do do, I'm broke so this is my theme song. Do do do, just imagine this is an awesome theme song. Do do, theme song. Hello, welcome to Left of the Box. Bonjour, bienvenue. I'm Sandy. Sam Seder, the ghost that haunts the dreams of right-wingers, the boogeyman they talk about to scare the newbie IDWs to fall in line, the mythical creature who is so well known and reviled that he's on all of the blacklists, while simultaneously being a person no one knows anything about. Sam is of the left and loves nothing more than eating apples and debating those of the right. And he is not a boomer. Gotta make that clear, Sam Seder is not a boomer. Right-wing social media figures constantly claim they want to debate people on the left. They ache for it, as Dennis Prager says.
I'll give you another interesting thing that people don't reflect on. We ache to have them on our shows. We ache to debate them, but they won't debate us and they won't come on our shows and they won't have us on their shows. I have offered tens of thousands of dollars to any left-wing columnist on the New York Times to debate me anywhere they want. They could choose the moderator, they could choose the audience, and serious money. And that's 99% of the New York Times columnists are leftists. Maybe there are 3 that are not non-left, but they would never do it. I ache to debate them.
Yet when Sam says when and where, there's a shift in their demeanor, and suddenly they aren't as open to debating as they've proclaimed. Right-wingers, especially Steven Crowder of the Change My Mind fame, have been called out to debate Sam.
Hey, Tommy Lahren here. So I wanted to say to Dave, Steven, and others, stop being cowards and debate Sam already. My goodness, get to it. Those are my final thoughts. God bless, take care, and remember, get your debate on.
I feel like there's a decent chance Steven Crowder will see this, and this will be the only time that I get to say this. Debate Sam Seder, dude. Stop being such a pussy. I know that your dad doesn't want you to, and you know, but that was a long time ago. That was you're 3 years older now. It's time. It's time to debate Sam.
Some people may wonder why there's such a push to get right-wingers to debate Sam. Like, who really cares? Why pressure people? A lot of this has to do with exposing the so-called intellectual dark web, the IDW, as the grifters they are. They're the ones constantly saying they'll debate any lefty and that they hunger to have an open exchange of ideas. However, the people they call on to debate are younger people who haven't yet formed narratives, people who aren't deep into politics and policy, people with different platforms who don't go for these clickbait performances, people who they know have buttons that are easy to push, or people that they know that aren't debaters. They debate lefties that they share common ground with on some right-wing issues, or lefties that they've underestimated and think are easy to manipulate for sound bites. Sam is none of that. He instead would challenge their stated ideological talking points, and he does it in such a way that he won't change the mind of the person he's debating, which doesn't matter so much because they aren't there for honest conversation. But he can reach their audience and get them to ask uncomfortable questions of their right-wing idols. And I get it. It can be intimidating talking to Sam, especially if you're dealing with an underlying attraction to him you're trying to suppress.
Let me explain. Hey, whoa, Sam,
out and you literally
Sam, sweetheart.
Like, it's nerve-wracking for me, and I'm on the same side as him, and I've never debated him. But that's because I'm trying to impress him, for no reason in particular. If the objective is to debate ideas, then who the person is shouldn't matter. But when it comes to Sam, suddenly it matters. When people suggest debating Sam, common responses are to ignore the question or to play dumb.
And I know you're aching for a debate. Is Sam Seder?
So we'll go to,
Tweet from Hey It's Vadim. So a friend of mine just did a hilarious prank on Dave Rubin with a $100 super chat question asking him to debate Sam Seder. This is what happened.
Hey Dave, this is a very brave move on your part. Kudos.
Have you heard about the SJW nonsense on the? I don't even care about those guys. It really just honestly doesn't matter.
So I wasn't sure if you were aware of Sam Seder. He responded to you, said that he's available. He's the host of The Majority Report, which is a progressive podcast. Yeah.
How many people know the name Sam? This is the first I hear of it. Seder, you said? I'm sorry. S-E-A-D-E-R?
Yeah.
So, Sam Seder. So how many people do you feel? The reason I'm asking, I'm not being cute. The reason I'm asking is if I'm going to debate someone on the left, they can't use it as a stepping stone to become famous.
There are plenty more clips like this. However, I already spent way too long putting this video together. So please forgive me. I didn't want to spend a week looking through hours of video for 30-second clips. You can show your appreciation for all the clips and everything I've gathered to put this together by doing the thing. You know, the thing. Please? They're so put off by Sam, I imagine that when they go to right-wing brand camp, instead of playing Bloody Mary, they get each other into a dark room, look into a mirror and say, Sam Seder, Sam Seder, Sam Seder.
Pause it!
When team building with other right-wing influencers, or they're confronted and there's no easy way for them to back out, the route they go is saying Sam is a lying, conniving, grifting, coward, clout-chasing, mean-spirited, drama-making, using their much larger platforms to get fame and bring attention to his tiny little channel, and that, while smart, he's not a serious actor, is a mainstream media puppet, and isn't funny.
Sam, fake stand-up comic who we can't find any footage about online. Let me
I'm not
finish.
a stand-up comic.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense because everything that I've seen is incredibly unfunny.
Sam Seder is a lying coward, and that's why people like Steven Crowder should not debate him, and that's why Steven was right for cutting him off and saying no.
The problem with him is that he's got a strong trolling game and kind of a comedic ridicule game that is a turnoff to, I mean, it's okay as a wit, but it's not okay as a main course.
And so I pretty much wanted to ask you, why won't you have Sam Seder on?
Yeah, he's recording it too. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the guy's he's just a dishonest player who's just lied about me repeatedly. Like, I'm not going to do it.
Sam Seder's blacklisted by a lot of podcast networks. I'm not exaggerating. This is not a joke. Yes, there are many large podcasts that have outright said they will never work with him, and it has nothing to do with being afraid to debate him. Sam Seder's off the list. Culture. This guy is a manipulative, lying con man.
There's this whole thing about, will you talk to Sam Seder? Will you debate Sam Seder? And my feeling is, I would debate part of Sam Seder, the part that just is focused on the ideas, but the part that is kind of like nasty and ridiculing and doing the Alinsky thing, I don't know what to do with it. I'm not interested.
But the issue with Sam is that I believe he is, like, he's a grifter. Like, you don't think he believes what he says? I think maybe half of it. I think he doesn't know about a lot of issues and he says things just for the sake of shock value.
That's why I was wondering if maybe you wanted to debate Sam Seder. He's on the line with me right now.
Okay, so let me tell you something. Sam Seder uses my name to get publicity. I made this point the other time. The guy lied about me, claimed that I was divorced 3 times, said it like it was a truism. I was divorced twice. It's not a little thing. He lies about me, and he uses me. Whenever he mentions me, he gets far more hits than when he doesn't mention me. I don't know who he is. Well, I'd say 1% of my listeners know who he is. And I would say 80% of his listeners know who I am. Okay. It's an old trick. Let me raise my stature by going on the same stage as someone with stature. Doesn't work with me, unfortunately for the person, but fortunately for the public.
We get, every time you have somebody on, people will text you and say, oh, I cannot believe you're having that person, this person's this. I've never had anybody on that I got that many text messages as Sam Seder, and I don't know why. People,
we should pull negative.
Not good.
I'll just say, and Sam will probably hear this, there are high-profile producers and media people who have told me explicitly he's blacklisted.
That's why I would never talk to Sam Seder in a public forum. He's proven himself so committed to the singularity.
Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience and you've been doing the
I
show
don't think anybody
for 10
owes
times
me
as long?
airtime.
Sam Seder wants to come on, but I think he's one of the most disingenuous human beings in the space. So, like, I
I think
invited.
you should still have him on.
Well, I invited him, and then he used it against us as a weapon. So he's cut off.
Got it.
And
Okay.
he's also, I can tell you this. I love saying this, by the way. There are some other high-profile podcasts that have completely boycotted him, and he's like complained about this, not understanding why, and I know why. But he's considered widely in the space to be. I mean, it's kind of stupid to say, but grifter.
Would you ever debate Sam Seder?
No, he's a horrible, horrible human being. No,
You wouldn't
definitely
debate him?
No.
But you're into like open exchange of ideas and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
no, he's a trash human being.
Why?
No, because he's done
Shots
like
fired.
1,000 videos about me that are all nonsense. I've never even talked about him. What a boring way to, not boring, what an unfortunate way to have me walk off. No, he's like a really terrible person. I didn't get into the internet to like just endlessly destroy everybody and everything else. I like talking to people that I can have enlightened conversations
Right.
with. And like some people just want endless destruction for
I think you should
for
give
the
Sam a chance. I
purposes.
think you guys would have a really good conversation.
Yeah, oh, you're a troll. I knew something was up.
So, what all this means is that if Sam is to fulfill their wish of a debate with someone on the left, he has to trick them, which led to everyone's favorite moment.
Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a fucking nightmare.
However, Steven Crowder isn't the only one who's fallen prey to Sam's schemes. Something similar was attempted with Dennis Prager. Part of the montage included his reaction to Sam's surprise call. Here it is from Sam's end.
Yakima, Washington, Ronald, hello.
Hey, D-Man, this is Ronald. How are you?
Well, thank you.
So I've got a son that he kind of went off the deep end going to college, and I think that what you said earlier is a good point, that the clergy and the parents don't do a good enough job presenting the case, and one of the ways that we failed to do that is by really debating people on the other side, you know, and really presenting the argument. So that's why I was wondering if maybe you wanted to debate Sam Seder. He's on the line with me right now.
Hi, Dennis. I'm here, and I would contend that part of the reason why folks have not are less religious is because they find that your brand of religion oppressive. Oh, shoot.
He hung up on us.
He hung up on us.
Like a true champion of debate, Dennis hung up as soon as he realized he was confronted with someone who could challenge his ideas with facts and insight. This didn't deter Sam and his co-conspirator Ronald Reagan. Oh no, they learned from this setback and were ready to try again. And on Sam's birthday, Ron was able to give him the perfect gift. Now, I know many of you have probably already seen the debate, most likely multiple times, being analyzed by your favorite lefties. So, I wanted to offer you something a little more. Something the other lefties don't have the time for, didn't think of, or don't have the OCD needed to pull off. I found the conversation from Dennis's end, and I painstakingly merged them for your viewing pleasure. It was difficult because they had different delays in their audio, so it doesn't sync up exactly, and at times you'll hear an echo. Also, when they were talking over each other, I had to pick one to go with. I picked Sam because I like him, and because you can still hear Dennis clearly. Everyone was astonished at how many ads are in Dennis's show. To be fair, Dennis has a radio show, so when they cut to break, it's not necessarily for ads only. They could be talking programming notes, headlines, the weather. But to give you an indication of how much they interfere with the show, on Dennis's webpage, they're cut out of the posted video.
So this is the Ultimate Issues Hour, third hour on Tuesdays.
Yeah, almost half of his show isn't his show. And that doesn't include the ad reads he does after the breaks, which are part of the video. I was curious and OCD, so I ran the numbers. Of the 28 minutes Sam was on the phone with Dennis, they were talking to each other for only 10 minutes. 12 minutes go to the breaks and ad reads, and 6 minutes was a monologue from Dennis. So, for everyone's sanity, I've cut out all the ad reads, breaks, and monologue. I have not cut out any part of their conversation. I have both Sam and Dennis's videos linked in the description box below so you can verify. I have the full 28 minutes put together, but I'm not sure I can upload it for copyright reasons. There's music playing during the breaks. But if it doesn't violate any YouTube laws and there's an overwhelming demand for it, I can upload it so you can watch Sam and Emma impatiently wait for the breaks to be over and listen to Dennis's enthralling monologue about Jewish insecurity and the need for more religion. Although Sam and Emma's facial expressions during that were quite entertaining. Anyway, I present to you Dennis versus Sam. Sorry, I mean Ron.
Oh, dude.
I think earlier.
Can I put you on pause for a second?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm going to put you on pause for 1 second. I just got an important message.
I feel so bad for this caller from area code 908, because I know how difficult it is to get through to the majority report and how many attempts you sometimes have to make in order to get through, and the anxiety that builds up in you, and then you finally get through and you're like, oh my God, here's my chance to shine, and I can say what I want. And it sounded like this caller had some really interesting things to say, just for Sam to be like, pause it and put him on hold and then totally forget about him. My heart goes out to caller 908. I want to send him a basket of muffins.
What?
We're going to be on conference call with maybe Prager. How much time do we got?
Hello?
Hello? Is this Ron Reagan?
Yeah, we're on in a minute. We're on in about a minute.
On the Salem Radio Network. Returns from break in 45 seconds.
Happy birthday, you big idiot.
Oh, thank you. It's a good birthday present.
1-8-PRAGER 776-877-243-7776. Albany, Oregon. Ron, hello.
Hi, Dennis. Thanks so much for taking my call. I think I told your screener that my kid is in college, and
Well, he does have one kid in college.
there are protests going on there, and needless to say, Thanksgiving was a little bit rough.
Go on.
Well, my child, I don't want to say the college that they go to, because I don't want them to be chased down or anything. But my concern is that my son doesn't appreciate what's going on in Israel at all.
Now notice Sam is just saying that his son doesn't appreciate what's going on in Israel. Like, he's not saying any actions his son took. He's just saying he doesn't appreciate it.
And doesn't understand what the dynamics are there. And it is increasingly a problem, is what's going on these campuses.
That's right.
Anti-Semitism is a problem in this country. It is rising. I'm not sure if I subscribe totally to the idea that it's a function of secularism, because, obviously the Spanish Inquisition, we had a lot of anti-Semitism that existed before any type of secular movement.
In the United States, it is. I make it clear in the column. You're right. American Christianity was totally different from European Christianity.
But I mean,
this was a Judeo-Christianity. It was pro-Jewish. That's why I read to you John Adams, who was a committed Christian.
Well, that's true.
That Jefferson and Jefferson. Go on.
Well, I can tell you that. When my parents and my grandparents came over in the 1800s, they had to change their name. They couldn't get insurance. This was not a function. They were very pious.
Oh, so you're Jewish? Okay, that's it.
Wait, Sam is Jewish?
Interesting. So the fact is, however, that you're right, compared to a truly perfect society, it was a failure. Compared to every other society, why did they flee their society and come to America? If you would have asked your grandparents, are you happy you came to America, even though it was harder to get insurance? They probably would have laughed at you.
Oh, well, no, of course. They left because of pogroms, but they weren't secular in Russia. at that time, or Lithuania.
No,
or
you're right.
Vilnius,
I've said all of my life to American Jews, my fellow Jews, that the European Christianity was not the same as American Christianity.
The thing is that there's lots of different versions of Christianity wherever you go. Like, American Christianity is not a monolith. European Christianity is not a monolith. We see the different variations all over the place, but Dennis is just kind of putting them all in one category and saying American Christianity is the superior Christianity.
These are the Christians that put Torah script on the Liberty Bell, that had you study Hebrew, that said the greatest contributions were made by Jews, like I read to you from John Adams. This was a different country. This was a different form of Christianity.
I agree. I agree. You have someone like John Hagee speaking at the rally for Israel. I think was frankly an abomination. I wasn't for John Hagee speaking there. He has a.
I was. Stay on with me.
Can't say I'm surprised.
I thought it was a great choice. I know him very well. Back in a moment.
Okay.
So my column this week is essentially that when America was more Christian, Jews were more secure. So there are two issues with my caller. This is a really important call. I'm very happy you called because
I love Emma's reaction to this. Like, she's just like, oh yeah, got him. Like, I don't think I could have been in the room and have kept it together through this. Like, I hope she had her mic muted just in case.
I have a lot of thoughts on what you're saying. So this is Ron in Oregon, and there are two issues. One is that his son, he's a Jewish family, and his son has been participating in anti-Israel protests at his college.
You see what Dennis just added there? Dennis said, oh, your son was participating in these anti-Jewish marches, anti-Israel marches. Sam never said that. Remember? It was only that his son didn't quite understand everything that was happening. So that is something that Dennis is just kind of thrown in there for some reason.
And the other is that he doesn't fully agree with me because, look at all the anti-Semitism in Europe, which was done by Christians, and he's absolutely right. But as I've said all of my life, American Christianity was not European Christianity, and Jews, the best place Jews have ever lived outside of their own land has been the United States of America. So your last comment was that you were distressed that at the rally in Washington for Israel, they had Pastor Hagee speak, correct?
Yes, that's right. I never totally agreed with John McCain about all things, but when he distanced himself in 2008 from Hagee, I thought that was the right thing to do.
Credit where credit's due.
And the reason?
Well, I don't think the idea that, and this is what Hagee believes, obviously not what I believe, or I would imagine not what you believe, is that Hitler was sent by God to push Jews to Israel. And I understand the Christian prophecy that we as Jews are a part of that, but not necessarily in the best way. But I guess my biggest concern is we just had the greatest attack on Jews since the Holocaust take place. And I look at Israel as a place that was founded, at least in part, to protect Jews. And I think that after 75 years, what we're looking at is a situation where that project has failed. And I think in part it's failed because of.
Okay, is Dennis a statue? Like, I don't think he's changed his facial reaction or his facial expression at all during this entire thing. And he's able to sit so still like I'm constantly moving, but that's like an ADHD thing. But I'm like, is he half asleep during this or something? That he just stays so still through this?
The way that Israel has gone about it.
Okay, so we now entered a third arena. They're all related. Let me just say this about John Hagee.
Let me just get back to the other thing we were talking about, because I don't want to address everything that you just said, because I'm more comfortable talking about the other thing, and you made some very good points that is very difficult for me to counter. So let's just backtrack a bit, shall we?
First of all, I never, ever judge people on the basis of their beliefs. I'm sure you're annoyed when Christians think you're going to hell because you don't believe in Christ. So why are you annoyed with John Hagee?
Okay. I don't believe in a Christ. I don't believe in a hell. And I have had Christians tell me that I'm going to go to hell. And you know what? I don't care. I really don't care. Like, not enough to be annoyed at all. So, like to assume that because you personally would get annoyed about something means that everyone else would get annoyed about that thing, it's off. It's off a lot. And again, it's this idea of like, there can't be different types of Jewish beliefs. There can't be different types of Christian belief all within this. And this idea of Dennis saying that, you know, he doesn't judge people based on their beliefs. But like I said, there's all these different versions of these religions. People choose those, you know, your beliefs are not an immutable characteristics. So yeah, judge people based on their beliefs. Like, what else are you going to judge them on? Because they choose to interpret their religions the way that they do.
For his religious beliefs. If indeed that's what he said. I have reviewed it. It's not fully clear to me, but let's say he said that. God sent Hitler. My father, who was an Orthodox Jew and fought Hitler in the U.S. Navy for 3 years, believed that God sent Hitler because he couldn't believe that the Holocaust just happened and God watched it.
There are a lot of Jews.
Yes, but that is a
okay. So fine. So what exactly? How remarkably different was my father's view? I don't agree with my father, but it doesn't matter. As I said, I judge beliefs, but I don't judge people by their beliefs.
I'm pretty sure he judges people. He's just saying this for the show. Based on other things he's said, yeah.
So John Hagee has been one of the most pro-Jewish, pro-Israel figures in American life. He has founded the largest organization of Christians. It is the CUFI, Christian.
Oh yes, no, I know that. But Dennis, that actually relates to my other point.
No, because
I do think that intent. I do think intent is important here. So it is true that that Israel has a lot of support from CUFI and other Christian Zionists, but they want the Jews there so that they go through hellfire. And I also know that, the Netanyahu.
That's not true.
The Netanyahu.
That is true. I know
well, that is exactly the prophecy that
true.
Hagee is talking about. And,
no.
And
okay.
I will also say this: with Netanyahu, with Netanyahu, also making common cause with
yes, because he's making common cause, because the greatest support in America for his country is coming from Christian Zionists.
Well, but I think that's
why wouldn't he make common cause with them?
Well, I'm trying.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to explain, because I think what it breeds is a type of singular nationalism in Israel, which has left Jews unsafe. The road that could have been taken with Zionists.
So
we know that there was a strand of Zionist thought. Not Israel. I'm saying certain elements within Israel, because we know there was Zionist thought starting in the late 1800s into the early 1900s, where the idea of a multi-ethnic, multi-religious democracy could have taken hold folks like Boone.
Yeah, okay.
So at this point on Dennis's video on his radio show, you can't hear Sam. I don't even think Dennis can hear Sam at this point. Like, Sam is just completely cut off, but there's no way for Sam to know this has happened.
Well, let me just say this. Don't be shocked that your child has taken your ideas to their conclusion.
Oh, Dennis. It's weird that you had to cut me off.
Yeah, because you were making really good points there.
Okay, so just a final word here. I rarely keep somebody on so long, but I thought that this is invaluable.
I just love Emma's reaction to this. Like, yeah, we're doing it. We're getting a good call in, and he's proving that he can talk to Sam and have a good conversation with Sam, as long as he doesn't know he's talking to Sam.
So I just want to say, and this is, God knows, I thank you for your call and your openness.
Thank you.
But with your views with regard to Israel, it's not shocking that your son would have participated in anti-Israel demonstrations.
Again, Ron never said his son was participating in these anti-Israel marches. He just said he didn't have a good understanding of everything that was happening there.
Demonstrations at college.
Well,
I know you wouldn't, and I fully appreciate that, but he didn't come from a home that made peace with Israel as a national Jewish project.
Well, I don't think that's true, actually. I mean, certainly much of my Hebrew school, and I at that point was more conservative than Orthodox. But much of my Hebrew schooling was oriented towards Israel. Many of my teachers were
but
were
that's
former
irrelevant. It's
Holocaust.
your views.
Well,
Look, you said.
but all I'm saying is I'm looking at this as a practical matter, though, Dennis, because as a practical matter, if the part of the Zionist project was to provide a safe home for Jews, I mean, and surely you know this as well, we have Israelis now who are in bomb shelters 4 times a day, and that it has not worked. The peace and security for Jews as a single ethno-national state has not worked.
Now, this is something I've heard Sam talk about before. So far in this call, the only thing that Sam has been misleading on is saying he has a son in college and that his name is Ron. But everything else he has been arguing are things I've heard him say before. So these are actually sincere values and beliefs of his.
So therefore, you believe Jews would be more secure if there weren't a Jewish state and it was just a Jewish and Muslim state,
and Christian. I mean, I think
Christian, but there are so few Christians there. Okay,
well, yes, yeah.
Now suddenly the Christians don't matter.
Yes.
So you believe Jews would be more secure with majority Arab rule?
Dennis, your racism is showing. All countries have a dominant religion. Like there's no country I can think of where there's even splits in religion. So all countries have one religion that is more than all the others. Like in North America, that's Christianity. But the thing is that we separate church and state, or we're supposed to anyway. And all these other countries that have dominant religions, it doesn't mean that country is ruled by that religion, because it's not here. Well, it's not in the States, at least not yet. And that's the thing. You can have a country that has more Muslim people than Jewish people, but still govern in a way that is supportive of all of its citizens. Like, here in Canada, it's a lot less likely that our politicians bring their religion into policy that's made for everyone else in this country. And, you know, it's always been like that. Like North America has always had a dominant religion, and we have purposely, you know, separated that church and state. So the thought that somehow, because it's a Muslim dominant area, that means that they're going to run it in a Muslim religious way is very racist.
I think absolutely a multi-ethnic society could be set up. I mean, listen, this is the same thing that people said.
All right. Look, I got to leave it at that because we've talked so long.
Okay.
Forgive me.
Well, Dennis, I really appreciate you having this conversation with me.
The listener decide.
Thank you.
But I think you need to be honest with yourself. If you believe that
I am being honest with
Zionist
myself,
project
Dennis.
is a failure,
Mm-hmm.
it is not that surprising that your son would have demonstrated against Israel on his campus.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't characterize.
St. Petersburg, Florida. Corey, hello.
All right.
Yes. Hello, Dennis.
I guess. He left. All right.
Reagan hung up.
We got the held over 2 commercial breaks.
I mean,
I thought he was taking commercials.
I got news for you, folks. That doesn't
Yeah.
happen. You got to really know. Like I did too.
I can't believe you got on that long. And you've spoken to him before, right? Like he supposedly knows your voice.
Well, I mean, I don't.
You got on for like
He's
a old second at one time, and he
hung up immediately.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I mean, it was nice to be able to reach his audience, and
Yeah.
you know, I don't think I went super hard.
He didn't really go hard enough as far as I'm concerned, but I understand the balance because Sam was trying to reach his audience to plant seeds, not have a video that, you know, he can use for drama or clickbait or have a viral moment. Sam was trying to change minds.
But to have that long of a time, I feel bad now because my son's not in college.
Yeah.
He's in elementary school.
And your name is not Ron.
And my name is not Ron.
And no wonder.
But
Sam.
Ron is one
No
of my
wonder.
nicknames.
But, you know, if Dennis wants to avoid this kind of deception, he can just come on the Majority Report and debate Sam long form without those kinds of obstacles.
Yeah, just debate Sam Seder. It's not that difficult. He just showed that you can have these kinds of debates. So why are you so scared, Dennis? The best move in this was Sam not outing who he was. Some people were probably hoping for Sam to say, "Ha, got you," or something like that to see Dennis's reaction and potentially get another viral moment. But Sam would have done that if the only reason he was on the phone was for drama. What Sam did, or in this case didn't do, undermines all the talking points the right wing has about him. Sam wasn't mean, wasn't trying to rub it in Dennis's face that he got deceived. He didn't say anything for shock value. Yeah, sure, the premise he got on the phone was a lie. He doesn't have a son in college and isn't named Ron. But the points he was arguing were sincere, accurate, and valid. By not saying who he was, they can't claim Sam was doing this to raise his own profile, to clout chase, or was using Dennis to become famous. Dennis's audience probably isn't plugged into social media enough to know what happened. Sam got no bump in his numbers from this. And since Dennis didn't recognize Sam's very distinct voice, he treated Sam without bias. He was just another random caller, so his guards didn't go up. And because of that, and Sam playing it straight, they were able to have a conversation that Dennis said in his own words that he was happy that Ron called. Dennis thought the conversation was so good and important, he said he normally doesn't keep a person on the phone that long. This totally dismantles everything Dennis is saying about who Sam is. Obviously, they can have a good faith conversation. So why doesn't this happen? Why is the right wing so afraid to debate Sam? Sam is everything the right wing pretends to be. They claim to be confident, honest, intelligent, not in it for the money or fame, respect those they're debating, and believe in their values. That's everything Sam is, and they're not. Well, okay, Sam doesn't respect everyone he debates, but he approaches the debate in good faith. The right claims the facts back their views, which often when you look into it, are nothing more than cherry-picked outliers or outright false. It's the old thing of the right accusing others of doing what they're guilty of. And it's more than that. Sam isn't invested in these debates the same way as them. He wants access to their audience not to boost his numbers, but to plant seeds. He's looking to make positive change for all, not keep things the same for him, which really puts to shame a lot of these right-wingers. Sam is supposed to be one of them. He's a white man with privilege. I don't know what his finances are, but I suspect he's doing all right. He should be arguing the same talking points and have the same goals as them. Yet, he's not seeking to make more money at the expense of others losing what they have. He's fine losing some of his privilege if it means others get a step up. And when it comes to fame or making friends with those who have similar status as him, as he often says,
I don't care.
The right is afraid of Sam because he shows it's possible to be something other than what society says a person with his status should be. Which means all of them are choosing to be bigoted assholes. Sam supports what the majority of people want. If the majority gets what they want, that would put an end to the patriarchal, queerphobic, racist, classist, ableist, capitalist system that keeps them at the top and in power. So, I don't want people thinking this video is nothing more than a fluff piece to get me in the good graces of Sam and closer to my dream of making a Canadian version of the Majority Report. But, if it helps lead to that, I don't mind. Sam has plenty of flaws, the potential to disappoint, gets things wrong from time to time, and is still learning. Like all people, he's far from perfect and isn't something to be put up on a pillar and idealized. He's just a man who's really good at what he does. This isn't so much about what Sam is, but about what the right isn't. He exposes them for who they are. Lying, conniving, grifting cowards, clout-chasing, mean-spirited, drama-making, using their large platforms to get fame and attention. They're not serious actors or establishment puppets and aren't funny. Not even a little. More about that in a future video. People on the left want positive, progressive change that benefits everyone. I know it's easy to look at what's happening in the world and feel like there's no hope. Change is always possible. It may become more difficult, but it's always possible. Don't forget to hit buttons and leave comments. You can find me on all of these social media platforms, while they still exist. I'm an artist. Go to SandeeLovas.com to see what I do. If you can, please support my content by becoming a patron or purchasing something off my wish list, linked in the description box below. Every little bit helps. A special thanks to those of you who already have. I had to take my 15-year-old cat Frodo back into the vet this past week. The outlook isn't that good. He means the world to me, so as long as I can keep him comfortable and happy, I have to do it. In wealthy countries, we shouldn't be put in a position of having to ask strangers to help with bills to keep our loved ones as healthy as they can be. I live with disabilities. Frodo is a light that keeps me going. If you can, and only if you have the extra money to do so, please help me cover his bills by sending money to the PayPal link in the description box, or if you're Canadian, you can send an e-transfer to SandeeLovas@gmail.com. For some reason, PayPal doesn't always let me message the people who sent money, and I don't know of a way of sending a personal message to those who do an e-transfer. So please know, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for any help you're able to give. Tune in at 5 p.m. Eastern on Sundays and Tuesdays for live streams where I go over Canadian shenanigans and other news and issues. And go support Sam at the Majority Report. Let him know you're never too old to inspire change.
Incidentally, I'm not a boomer.
Salut, à la prochaine. Thank you for watching and stay tuned. I'm Sandy, wishing your tomorrow is better than your today.